What's up YouTube, Justin from Team Misplay here. God, I love nature. Got a lot of nature videos coming out right now. But anyway, I'm going to be talking to you about preparing for major tournaments. And this is just a reminder video. We've had videos like this before, and I'm sure you've seen others, but it never hurts to just have a quick refresher course on things to remember and maybe some things that you forgot. First of all, when you're preparing for a major tournament, specifically because there's a lot of YCSs coming up very shortly. Chicago, Long Beach, Dallas, and if you happen to like venturing out to exotic places, there's Lima. But what you want to do is you want to be prepared before the tournament. YCSs start on Fridays. It's actually a 3-day event. YCSs, everything goes 2 days, Saturday, Sunday, but actually there's a Friday registration that you can do. If you can, go out to those Friday registrations, because you have all your stuff turned in, you have all your stuff checked. All you have to do is show up on Saturday. You're not waiting in long lines. I remember at YCS Dallas, the line was like an hour and a half, 2 hours wait to get all your stuff, to even just pay, so that you can get your entry in to the tournament. But have your deck list ready. Have your deck list filled out. Have your deck list finalized. You want to make sure that you have all this stuff so that you can streamline it as quickly as possible. Next, depending on what you're going to be doing while you're there, you should have different preparations. If you're going there to play, take a mat, take a calculator, take a pen and a paper. Pen and paper. I can't tell you how many times a pen and a paper is very important. Note-taking is against the rules as far as like writing down like monster names and stuff, and different things like that, and writing down information on card text. But you can take down information as life points. And for example, should there ever be a dispute in life points, if you have pen and paper, then the judges will err on your side as far as what the life points should be. Calculators turn off, lose batteries. Apps, it's all information that's done digitally and electronically. So that stuff can happen. It'll clear, it'll disappear. Sometimes people don't even take track of this stuff. What you need to do is pen and paper. Even if you are using a calculator, use a pen and paper to keep yourself constantly updated, because if there is a dispute, then the pen and paper will be the one that ultimately gets final say. But that's it if you're only going to play. If you're going over there to trade or sell,
or spectate,
have everything in as small a bag as possible. You don't want to be carrying a lot of stuff. If you carry a lot of stuff, things can get stolen. For example, I had a friend of mine. He was looking at information on the wall for where he was going to be sitting. Had his bag slung over him, and had his mat hanging out, and got his mat stolen while his hand was on his bag and his bag was on his shoulder. So you want to keep everything as compact as possible. Be aware of groups that try to rush you. If you're by yourself and you have your stuff laid out and you see a group coming up, immediately put all your stuff together, bring all your stuff together. Another example, I had a different friend. He sat down to look at his extra deck and had his stuff laid out, was by himself, and 4 guys came up to him and started like really pressuring him to trade. They were picking up his cards, looking through his cards, asking if different stuff was for trade. Pretty much it's all a big smoke screen, because he ended up getting his Zen main stolen out of his extra deck by a group of guys, because they all came up to rush him to trade. So if you're trading, trade with one person at a time. And if you feel uncomfortable, you do not have to trade. You can tell them to leave. And if anybody's bothering you, you can call a judge and have them escort them away from you, or escort you away from the situation. Also, have new sleeves. New sleeves are very important. There have been game losses given to marked cards, game losses given to sleeves. For example, Ultra Pros. Not all Ultra Pros are cut the same. They've been doing better about the sizing of the cut, but if you're gonna buy Ultra Pro sleeves, buy plenty from the same box of sleeves, because they will generally be all cut on the same size. I've had to give out a game loss myself to a player who bought plenty of Ultra Pro sleeves, but bought one set of sleeves at one time and another set of sleeves at another time, re-sleeved, and his sleeves were off, and you could see all of his side deck cards. You could see all the side deck cards because they were sleeved in this other sleeve, and they protruded out. wasn't intentional, according to the player. He always used Ultra Pros, and that can happen. If you get comfortable with sleeves, then you will lose. Then you won't be able to recognize that your sleeves are different sizes and that they cut differently. Be hydrated. Water is very important.
Rest.
Be energized. Have food. Have snacks, and don't have like terrible snacks like a honey bun, or some candy. Have good snacks. Have like some fruit, some chewy bars, stuff that's gonna really stick with you and it's not gonna run through you. You don't need empty carbs. You need stuff that's going to break down into carbs and last you. Have plenty of rest. Rest is so important. You can't go in there tired. YCSs are 3-day events. If you're tired for the first 2 days and you make day 2, it's not going to be good. YCS are 3 days. If you get through the first 2 days and then you make it to the final day and you're extremely exhausted, it's not going to bode well for you in the tournament. What else? As far as preparation goes, have all your cards already. You don't want to spend the tournament day looking around for cards because you already have your deck list filled out and you don't have the cards finished for the deck. When you see people running around looking for cards because they need it for their deck, the price of the card just jacked up because you need the card and they have the card. What else is there? You can think of anything?
Make sure your deck list is always completely correct, because you just get game losses for having it wrong. I mean, the Konami's been better about giving you chances to fix it before the start of the first game, but after that, it's game losses for anything that's incorrect.
And as far as anything else, just
know
remember
your rulings.
Yeah.
And if you have a question about it, go talk to the head judge.
Yes. Head judges are there for a reason. If you have a question, say you've been play testing and you've come up against something that's been very, very just wishy-washy about how it works and whether effects will resolve or if they will resolve without effects, talk to your head judge. See what the head judge will be ruling on certain cards. If you talk to the head judge and the head judge tells you something and then you get into that situation, and then one of the floor judges rules differently than the ruling that you heard from the head judge, appeal to the head judge. Make yourself known to the head judge and say, I spoke with the head judge, this is what the head judge says, I want to appeal to the head judge. The head judge will stick by his ruling that he made if he told it to you before the tournament. And as far as anything else goes, remember that you gotta think calm, don't get beat down by a loss. Don't let one loss turn into 3 losses. Take your loss and then move on to the next game. It's always a new game and you can afford to have losses in the tournament. Just don't get too many. But don't get beat down by the fact that you did lose. If you have anything else, if you'd like to add to certain preparations, just leave it in the comment section below. Be sure to thumbs up the video, thumbs it down. Please don't thumbs it down. Be sure to subscribe, and remember, it's not a pro play unless it's a misplay.